everyone, Jenny with On Fire Fit, and welcome to another episode of High Heel Hallelujah. I don't know if you noticed the flower by my ear, but we are talking about sweet aromas. But first, let's look at the shoes. Okay, this was a very obvious choice for today because I have flowers all over my shoes here. This is Massimo, and these are shoes that I picked up at Target one day, and I think they're pretty cute. I did have to wear them with this bright dress because I always feel like they kind of require that. But yeah, so we're talking about sweet aromas and how that can change things for you. So let's talk. Some of you listen to me only on YouTube, and some of you read some of the things that I write. So what I'm talking about today, I actually wrote about today, but it is all a new perspective on a current challenge that I am going through. And it all has to do with this flower and sweet aroma. But let me get back to what the challenge is. So I have had a jaw issue for the last 12 years, and it has been a long battle of trying to figure out what to do to solve this problem. It's not TMJ. It is a problem where I got a night guard 12 years ago just to protect my teeth during the night, because from time to time I would grind my teeth. And it was something that I wore for a few days, and my jaw completely locked up and I couldn't open it, and I was drinking out of a straw for a few days. Well, fast forward, I have been through 12 years of every type of doctor you can think of, physical therapy. I've done traditional and non-traditional. I've flown out of state. You name it, I've done it. Acupuncture, doesn't matter. Everything we have tried. And I have been praying about it as well, and a lot of people have been for me. And the problem with it is that this side of my jaw, the bone is a little bit smaller on that side. They think it was probably genetic. The disc that's supposed to be where it is supposed to be slipped during that time that the night guard was being used. It slipped, and scar tissue has developed around it. And so because of that, it's kind of like trying to drive your car on a flat tire for 12 years. The alignment gets all messed up, and it's going to cause damage to the car, right? So I get pain. It's hard for me to talk a lot. And even doing these videos, by the end, my jaw typically would be pretty sore at the end of a work day after talking to patients, because I have to do a lot of explaining of things. Terrible headaches, jaw pain that's crazy. So the real solution could require surgery, but that is a big deal. You know, you're wired shut, you have all kinds of years of things that have to go on in order to get this normal, like building bone and everything. It's very, very dramatic, and they can't always guarantee that it will actually fix the problem. So recently I went with my mom to a church that is known for lots of healing. And I didn't grow up in that kind of a church. I didn't grow up in a place where they focused on healing at all. We had very strong foundation, but we didn't really see the activation of what Jesus has done and what he asks us to do, which is to preach the good news and to go out and heal people and all of that. I did not grow up with that mindset, but I do have faith, and I have grown in a lot of areas and opened my mind up to a lot of different things. And so I realized that some people have more faith in that gift, and so they might be the right person to pray for me. So as we were planning on going, it was going to be a 9-hour drive, and I found myself at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to read my Bible before I knew I was going to go pick up my mom, crying, sobbing. I even was on my knees praying and saying, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And I didn't know at the moment why I didn't want to go. I felt such resistance to going. And I realized that I didn't want to be disappointed again. I didn't want to put my hope in something again. I felt like through all of those different specialists and all of the different things that I've done, I did have faith that that would work. Each time I went into it with the faith that this was going to do it. And it didn't. And to get to the point of putting my faith out there again felt like setting myself up for disappointment. And so it really hurt inside. And if anybody out there has had this sort of experience, I would love to hear from you. I know that it doesn't sound like faith from somebody that follows Jesus, but when you have really strong emotions, sometimes the emotions carry more weight than anything in that moment. And I realized that I can't let my feelings vote. I'm going to have to just call on God and say, I trust you. I just trust you. I'm going up there out of sheer obedience and nothing else, because right now I don't want to go. And so we did go, and they prayed for me. And during that prayer, they said, Lord, you have given her an assignment. You have given her healing for people that she comes into contact with, you know, with my coaching, with my On Fire Fit that I do, with my patients. And they said she needs to have a functioning jaw. She needs a voice in order to communicate. So please heal her. Take the bit, you know, like the horse's bit. They said take the bit out of her mouth and throw it behind her. And as they prayed for me, I did feel something. It felt warm and a little stretching kind of a thing, but I didn't notice a difference in the alignment. I touch on one tooth on this side, and I don't usually touch on this side very much, if at all. And I didn't feel a difference, but I didn't feel disappointed either. And I went through the rest of that day where you got to go take the Lord's Supper and you just praised Him and sang songs, and I was good. I did not feel disappointed. I felt like He's made me under construction. I'm under construction. So we came back. Everything was fine. I was not feeling down or defeated or lost or anything. I had prayed that He would change my heart, and He did. He changed my heart. And it was interesting. So the day we returned, I woke up the next morning and I felt that little momentary disappointment. And I thought, I don't know what this is about, but I think I have to hold on to that God's got this under construction. And that's it. I'm not going to think anything that's negative or self-defeating. I just know that God's at work. And I don't know how, I don't know what all He's doing, but I know He's at work. I have that full faith assurance. The next day I get up and I am praying and I go for a walk, and I was thinking about this whole thing, and it occurred to me that the Lord is trying to turn me into a sweet aroma of His Son. And I know that sounds really weird, but in the Bible it says that we are God's sweet aroma through Christ, through the knowledge of Christ, to those who are living and those who are perishing. I don't know if you have that thought process where you know how when you go into a room, you can sometimes detect the perfume that's in that room? that is something that I believe God wants from us. Sometimes we are not going to need words. We are not going to need to say anything. And our voice can actually be in how we carry Jesus into a place. We can change atmospheres simply by carrying him with us, bringing him into situations, bringing his sweet aroma wherever we go. I was blessed to have a really fun girls' night out not that long ago. And I hesitate to say this because it sounds like I'm promoting myself or something, but one person said this about me, and then the rest of them chimed in, and she said, Jen, when you are with us, it's peace. And I was like, what? And then the others chimed in, yes, you bring peace. And I thought, that is not from me. That is from God. That is 100% from God. But it made me realize that we don't have to say much. There may be times that we need to use words. Remember that quote, use the voice of God and words if necessary. I think the whole idea is that we bring love into situations. We bring the mind of Christ into situations. And that is that sweet aroma that comes into the place and transforms the atmosphere without people even realizing what's going on. And I realized, I think he's trying to make me a sweet aroma of Jesus. And so I want to smell like Jesus. I'm just kidding. Well, you to get the idea. So I want to be more like him. Therefore, I can bring him into situations. And the only way that you do that is when you turn to him and you anchor your hope in him and not in an outcome. And this is why I did not feel disappointed after leaving that place, because I knew God was healing me in a different way. And I found out that he's healing me in a way that says you can let go of this grip you have on having to have a healing outcome in order to do what I've asked you to do. You can just bring my presence with you, and that will be more than enough. And the way that you bring your presence with me in it is by spending time with me, learning how to love people better, being more in that place where he is my guide and I make those tough decisions to do things that sometimes require letting down pride. Just when you want to fight off something, somebody comes at you and you choose not to react in a negative way, you are bringing the sweet aroma of Jesus into the situation. There's all different ways you can do this, but as you take on God's signature scent, it will make people wonder, and then you don't have to say anything. They might want what that is. That beautiful signature scent that is only God. And as I was thinking about this and walking, I was like, wow, I totally get it. I don't have to grip onto an outcome. I don't have to worry about my jaw. God can heal it when he wants to. I just want to focus on Jesus, be passionate about my relationship with him. And the rest of it doesn't matter, because I can just carry that sweet aroma into every situation. And by the way, if you want to know what God's signature scent is called, it's very simple. It's love. Everything he does is in love. And sometimes that means discipline, because we love our children and we discipline them. But it always looks like love, because he always has what's best for us in his heart and mind. As I continue to walk, I walked right over this flower. And it was interesting. I wasn't supposed to be on that side of the street, but because it was really sunny at that particular time of the day that I never walk, On the other side of the street, it was super sunny. I had just crossed over, and so I was in a shadier area, not ever normally walking over there. And I walked right over this flower, and in my heart, it was like, you need to go pick that up. And so I turned around and I went back and I picked it up and I smelled it. It was so sweet. And I said, oh my goodness, Lord. And I was like, put that behind your ear. That was for you. It's those little kisses from heaven that I call them, because he wants us to know how much we are loved. He wants us to realize how much he is at work in our lives in ways that we could never understand. And levels of healing come in different ways: physical, emotional, psychological. You just don't know sometimes what God is up to. And so we can have faith that he knows how to heal us best, and that we just trust that. And then we can have that sweet aroma that we carry with us, and knowing that God transforms atmospheres and he comes in our bodies. It's us that bring it into those places. So I hope that that means something for you, and I hope that you go out and live your life on fire.
What a perfect setting here by my flowers, wearing my flower shoes. Gotta have the high heel runway walk. So thanks so much for being with me today. I hope that you enjoy this kind of video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, make a comment, subscribe if you don't mind. And otherwise, I just thank you for being here with me today, and I will catch you in the next one.